introduction to the show, Bob Odenkirk, and his character, a little bit about his character?
Sure, yeah. So Bob Odenkirk plays our dad, Jacob Winograd. He died back in 2002. He's a scientist. He's a professor of theoretical physics. And he approaches his daughter from the astral plane and tells her, listen, I caused this car accident because I need you to figure out how to access these extrasensory abilities that are innate within you so that you can travel back in time and save me. It wasn't an accident. I was murdered. I need you to travel back and figure out what happened and change the course of history.
So how do the sisters get along?
The sisters are a funny pair because they're very different. Alma's character, who's played by Rosa Salazar, is always questioning reality, questioning our purpose here, questioning whether or not there's more to our experience in life and what we're doing and why we're doing it. And her sister Becca, who is played by Angelique Cabral, is fine. She loves life. Life is good. Life works with her. She goes along, she gets along, she plays the game, she's good at the game, she wins at the game. It's not an issue. So oftentimes they don't see eye to eye on that, but they have a profound love for each other, a profound respect for each other. They do get in fights, they do take little jabs at each other, they know how to hurt each other. But ultimately, they realize that they share such family history together that at a deeper level, there's more in common than either of them could anticipate.
It seems like there's a lot of focus on mental health in this show. How important was it for you to be able to bring that out in this show a little bit with these characters? And how personal was this story for you?
So the story in terms of mental health is actually very personal for me. My grandmother was schizophrenic, and there's schizophrenia in the family. And I've never really quite understood all of it because there's a bit of secrecy around it. It's sort of like a shroud of mystery for me. She died before I was born. My father doesn't really like to talk about it. And so I always kind of wondered about my own mental health or my own genetics, if this could awaken in me at a time where I wouldn't expect it or wouldn't know what to do about it. And then, in fact, have experienced depression off and on, and then in my mid-30s had a real nervous breakdown, had depression, anxiety, and couldn't find my way out of it. But that ended up being the best gift of my life because I sought alternative paths, and I found meditation, and I found different healing modalities out of India and Central and South America and the Polynesian Islands, and I started exploring these shamanistic cultures and their experience or their mentality around mental health, and the fact to them that oftentimes it is a gift. Sometimes it's an ancestor reaching through and saying you're on the wrong path, or it's a way for you to get to a deeper place to realize I'm deluding myself. I'm creating this bubble delusion to protect myself, but actually I'm hurting people, I'm hurting myself, and I need to make amends. I need to heal these relationships. I need to heal myself. So thinking about how to explore that in storytelling, how to message that, how to see characters going through something similar, so hopefully people can maybe recognize themselves in it or recognize someone else and realize maybe there's more to how we perceive reality or more to how we perceive our experiences. Maybe happiness isn't always the ultimate goal or isn't always the norm or how we should always be feeling. And maybe these other feelings are gifts that we should tune into and understand.
How much was shows like BoJack Horseman kind of an influence in creating this type of show?
Incredibly influential. So I worked on BoJack Horseman as a writer most seasons, and I was there the first season. And the first season I wrote the 11th episode, which is called Downer Ending, and it's this episode where BoJack has a drug trip. He's actually trying to avoid writing, so he's procrastinating. And he thinks doing drugs will make the book write itself. But in fact, he has this different experience in which he finds himself in an alternate reality where if he had made choices that were a bit less selfish, he would have been living in Maine with the woman he loved, and they'd have a daughter together, and they'd be living close to nature and chopping wood and boiling water and cooking. And after that, Raphael approached me, and I was very honored that he approached me and said, like, what if we made a show that was like that episode? Like, what if we made a show that explored reality and philosophies around reality, and how we wish life could be, how life is, and what we can do about it.
It's pretty impressive, actually. You get approached and say, hey, I loved your episode so much, I really want to now create a show.
No, I know, and it's been beautiful. I mean, I love working with him. He's so brilliant and so kind. I feel really fortunate.
Well, as Raphael, about like the decision to shoot it the way you shoot it, we hear your side of it. Like, why, instead of live action or straight animation, why did you decide on ultimately rotoscope?
Right, well, we're playing with the idea of the stretchiness of reality and how we perceive it. And so we ultimately wanted a medium that would feel that way. We talked about live action, but I feel like in live action when you have CGI, you see it as CGI, you feel it as CGI. But animation, we're so used to animation being stretchy and playful and playing with reality that you don't feel the difference. Like, it feels more fluid when reality stretches or bends. So it became the right choice for it. And a concern of ours early on was, well, the limitation with animation is you don't get all the emotion and the performance. But then we worked with Hisko Hulsing, our director. He had the suggestion that we use rotoscoping, which is perfect, because then you do get that. You do see and feel the performance. You get all those expressions and all the emotion. And the animators do a fantastic job. So in Austin is where Minnow Mountain is, and they are our rotoscopers. So they actually do all the line drawings. And they have to decide which lines on the face to draw to express all that emotion. And they do a brilliant job of it. And then it goes to Amsterdam, to a submarine, and then they paint each frame, and then each background is an oil painting. It's like a 4-foot by 2-foot oil painting. And then those characters are composited into that world that's totally created. So it's actually very handmade, and hopefully you feel that. You feel like the handmade nature of this reality. Yeah, it's stunning. It's beautiful. They did a fantastic job.
So what is that like time process like between the first shooting and then taking it to that and taking it to that, like that? What is it?
Right, it's about 1.5 years.
Oh, wow.
Right, so it's a long process, and we make the show 3 times. So we live action shoot it and edit it. I mean, first we do like thumbs, and then we do storyboarding, and then we do the live action shoot, and we edit it, and then it goes, and every frame is hand drawn, and then it's painted, and then it's composited, and then it's then notes and editing, and then music, and we're working with a beautiful composer named Amy Doherty. She actually did a panel today with composers, but she so brilliantly got all of the emotion and the nuance of what we were doing. It was stunning. She's done a beautiful job, and she's really, every artist we work with has elevated the project. It's been an amazing collaboration.
What would you say is the biggest problem or obstacle or unforeseen foil that you guys came across so far in the project?
It's a great question. I think you're up against time is always an issue. We had the deadline of needing to get it to Amazon by a certain time so they could market it for the release, and we were able to do that, but at every moment you're like, oh god, we're going to make it, how are we going to do it? Also, an interesting issue that we come across with the rotoscoping is that having many characters in a scene takes a lot longer. So if you have 6 characters in a frame, it's going to take 6 times as much time to draw all of them. And so figuring out a way to have background extras or fill out a world or people in a church, that feels like realistic and of the world. And we found some interesting solutions and tried different solutions. And sometimes we just shot extras and rotoscoped them and painted them. Sometimes we tried characters that were more CGI and that didn't really feel right. So ultimately we found a process that kind of brought in real people and then rotoscoped them and made them feel of the world, but gave us a little more time. Yeah.
It sounds like maybe he could be lurking in the shadows, but was the work of Philip K. Dick an influence in this at all?
I love Philip K. Dick. He's great, and actually one of our producers, Tommy Pilata, worked very closely with Richard Linklater. He's a producer of Scanner Darkly and Waking Life, and he is a gigantic Philip K. Dick fan and very close actually with his family. And so definitely he's always sort of pushing those ideas or angles as well.
Yeah, I talked to Tommy this year.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, about his documentary, More Human Than Human.
Yeah.
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 Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Kate.